The EQ is one of the most important plugins you need to use in all of your house music tracks, because the EQ is going to make the difference between if your mix down is going to sound more professional or if it's going to sound muddy and not as clear. And my goal after you watch this whole video is that you're going to understand exactly what the EQ is for, how exactly to use it, so you can make your mix sounds way more clear. The first way to make a clear mix is to cut away low frequencies below 100 Hertz. Let's just listen to the vocals without the EQs. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna upload a frequency plugin here, which is Span. You can download that for free as well. It's gonna show you basically what frequencies are exactly playing right now. Usually vocals have frequencies below 150 to 40 Hertz. And that's the moment we're gonna basically just install a high pass and low pass filter like this. And this is how it starts, and then we're gonna just like cut away this kind of frequencies. Just be careful with how many frequencies you're cutting away, because if you're cutting away too much, the vocals are gonna sound thin. So this is a very EQ and is also very visual, but also listen to ears and listen to exactly what is too much cutting away. And then what we can do as well is to also make it louder, because if we cut away frequencies, what we can't really hear, which is usually below 450 Hertz and above 15 to 18K. So this is the other way how you can do it, like, and you can use this specific EQ on a lot of elements. You can use this on synthesizers and use this basically to make sure that the hi-hats are shining through, because the shiny hi-hats, which is usually above 12 to 13, 15K Hertz, that's exactly the moment where you have to like cut away those frequencies. The second way to create a clearer mix is to do a low shelf filter. Let's say we have those strings playing, and those strings have different elements. You can see that the strings, the most relevant frequency of the strings are between, let's say, 300 to 4K, and then it drops down again. So the goal here is to, because we have vocals now in the same frequency spectrum, which are hitting exactly the same moment, we need to make sure that one of them is probably more important. And as we know, it's usually the vocals which are more important. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna do something which is called frequency masking. So we're gonna cut and use a low shelf filter on the strings to give more clarity and more space for the vocals in the same frequency spectrum. So like that, just by using this little low shelf filter, you can make sure that the vocals are shining more through, because they're also really important in those exactly the same time. There's another way to do it even more professionally, is using a multi-band sidechain EQ. So for example, every time the vocal is playing, the strings are decking down. So what we basically do for that, we just attach the vocals to the instrument bus, to the instrument, which is the strings. And we're gonna upload a plugin which is called TDR Nova. Then we're gonna go on settings, and then on processing, and then we press second, first note, vocal 1, go back here, then we press int external sidechain, put sidechain, and then we're gonna basically, every time the vocal is playing, the strings are gonna duck down, and we're gonna obviously, we need to enable one threshold here, or like one low shelf. Obviously I'm doing this example right now very extreme so you can hear it, but usually you should just do this very subtle, because this is going to make your whole mix sound so more professional. And if you use this EQ trick, you can use this in every album. You can even use this for your bass, for your kick and bass relationship. You can use this trick basically for all the elements. You need to make sure that you upload span on your master channel or on each single element, and listen basically to which is the most relevant frequency. And then based on this, what you see or what you can hear, you basically make a decision to sidechain the EQ or just use a low shelf filter. And this is called frequency masking, which is an advanced mixing technique. So this is for you for free. Make sure you comment below this video as well what exactly you want me to cover in my next tech house production tutorial. Should I make more tutorials? Should I think more about mixing? Should I focus more on how to produce tech house like this or that person? Then the second way how to use an EQ is the sound design way. So let's say we want to saturate those strings very, very intensely, and we use an EQ before the saturation hits, because the way how we use EQs is very, very important. If you haven't liked this video, make sure you like this video as well and subscribe to my channel to not miss out any tech house production tutorials from me. Now I'm going to give you a little recap of this video. So basically, EQing is a very simple thing. If you know exactly which elements are more important for your track specifically, we know usually that vocals are usually more important than synthesizer when you have a vocal playing, depending on if it's background vocals or if it's vocal chops or if it's also vocal, like the main vocals which are singing during the drop. And then you basically make sure that the frequencies which are more important, they're gonna be more in the foreground. You can boost those relevant frequencies and take away frequencies from elements which are more in the background, like strings or even hi-hats or even especially reverbs. EQ your reverbs as well, because when you EQ your reverbs and cut away especially everything above 10,000 hertz and cut away everything under 150 hertz, we make sure there's enough space for the hi-hats to shine through. It's gonna make you basically the whole thing clearer. So definitely EQ your reverbs as well, and EQ your delays as well, because they're gonna give you more clarity. Second way is you can also use your EQ for sound design purposes, but the most important thing why I personally use my EQs is to use it for EQing and for clarity purposes, because we want to make sure that our mixes are loud and professional. And if you cut away frequencies which are not needed, you can basically make sure that your track has more average loudness because there's no unwanted frequencies. Hope you liked this video. Make sure you like it, subscribe to my channel, and I'll see you guys in the next video.